Hi, I'm Carly McAvoy. I'm just looking at the fourth part of the Math 141 prep. Now, this does not entirely mean you're ready for Math 141, but these concepts should be very solid as you go in, and then be prepared for other new difficult things to come your way when you get there. But if you had all of these problems down stone cold, you would be in a very good position to set yourself up for success in that class. Okay, this problem is a formula and it asks us to solve for h. That means we want to get h by itself. There's more than one way to do this problem, but how I would do it is to start off and get rid of this m over 2. I wouldn't distribute it, I just get rid of that to start. And I'm going to do that by multiplying it by its reciprocal. And that you can see the m's would cancel and the 2's would cancel. But if I do that to one side, of course I have to do that to the other side. And that s right now is over 1. So what I'm going to get is 2s over m equals c plus h. And at that point, to get h by itself, all I have to do is subtract c from both sides, and I'm going to get 2s over m minus c equals h. It's just rearranging that formula like that. All right. In the second one, it's a little different, but we want to get C1 by itself, so I want to get rid of the denominator, the Q, and I'm going to get rid of that by multiplying by Q. And of course, I want to multiply the other side by Q as well. So QW equals C sub 1 minus C sub 2. If I want to get C sub 1 by itself, all I have to do is add C sub 2. When I say sub, I mean subscript, to the other side, and that leaves C sub 1 by itself. Now I've solved that for C sub 1. All right, solve this for B. Well, all I really want to do is get the B by itself. And so I'm going to start off by subtracting 1/2 fm squared from both sides. And that gives me c minus 1/2 fm squared equals bm. Now if I want to get the b by itself, I want to divide both sides by m. I'm going to just keep these terms separate. I could glom them all together, but I'm going to keep them separate because a lot of times it's nice to simplify the single terms, the individual terms if you can. I can't do anything with c over m, but in the second one I can say this is actually 1/2 fm, because this m would cancel one of those, right? And I'd have 1/2 fm left equals b. There's more than one way to write that answer. That's how I would want you to write it if it was my class. Okay, and the last one's a little trickier because it's asking you to solve for u, but there's two u's in the formula, and so we can't, people say, well, divide everything by u. Well, that would leave the u under the k, and that's not what we want. So instead of dividing by it, we want to factor it out, reverse the distributive property here, and you get s plus z. And then you want to get rid of the u. Now, what's going to happen a lot of times if you're in Math 141 is that you're going to do other steps that bring you to this. This is just going to be the last. This is kind of an easy version of what you might see. You might have to move things around and manipulate to get all your variable terms on one side that have the same variable and then factor. But this is a reminder that sometimes if your variable shows up in two places, you might need to factor, or three places, you might need to factor to get it to show up just once. Then we want to get rid of this s plus z, so we would divide both sides by s plus z, and u equals k over s plus z. All right, so that's rearranging four different formulas that you may be asked to do something